was born in Oklahoma in 1912. He wrote every word and every song you hear tonight. Or just about. As close as makes no difference. He was a folk singer.
My folks is what you might call goers, settlers, frontier openers. My dad was born in Kansas, Texas.
Well, word is scattered out that 2,500 workers were being built at Kansas Dam. And already 8,000 work hands showed up to do the job.
We lost all that. Ain't much difference between you and us.
I've been doing some hard traveling, I thought you know. Well, I've been doing some hard rambling way down the road. Well, I've been doing some hard rambling, hard drinking, hard gambling. I've been doing some hard traveling, Lord.
Well, I think back in my life to all the people that I owe. I mean the ones I can remember in person. Of course, I know I owe these folks and they owe some other one. That amount we owe is all we have. And the only way to pay back all you good walkers and talkers was to work.
My working these days is mainly writing. I write songs, ballads, stories and tunes, tales with no melody, wild lines with free beats and even freer rhythms. Why, some of these rhythms alone are as pretty as the paint on your tractor, the oil on your wheel.
Well, you might have been taught to call me by the name of poet. Well, I'm no more poet than you, no better singer. Never did learn enough to sing the notes of music, nor learn many of the laws of high language. But I kept my eyes on you. I kept my ears open when you came close to me.
Well, I remember your face just as it was when I saw you. I hear your voice in its own loose words, like it spoke when I heard it. Well, I have a storm of words in me, but I know that these words are not my own private property.
Well, I borrowed them from you, from the people I owe. I borrowed words from you the same as I move through the high winds and borrow enough air to keep me moving. I borrowed my life from the works of your life. But your works and my works, they hold hands. Our memories never will separate. I've been doing some hard rambling,
Hard drinking, hard gambling. I've been doing some hard traveling, Lord.
But I've been doing some hard knocks and I thought you know. Lord, you come to Kansas City, went down
frontier openers. Well, my dad was born in the sands of Texas, down in a boundary line called Bell County, under the shadows of short-hair cotton stocks. Well, he come up to Indian free country called Oklahoma and found my mama, born near the smells of bitter bark gypsum. Well, they had me and 4 other kids in a farmy little ranch town up on a hill they named Okima. Oil was discovered in 1920, and all of us seen the farm and ranch town over one night turn into an oil boom town. Thousands of folks came from all over to work, eat, sleep, celebrate, pray, cry, sing, talk, argue, well, and even fight with the old settlers.
Early 30s, the oil fields drying up, the boom chasers came trickling on down the highways in long strings of high-loaded cars. The dust crept down from the north, and the bankers pushed the farmers off the land. The wheat growed, the oil flowed, the dust blowed, and the farmer owed.
Well, I remember hearing about what I banker back then. Well, he spent a young fortune on the best glass eye that could be made. Well, he went around betting everybody that you couldn't tell which was the glass eye and which was the real eye. Well, he was dealing with a farmer buying a load of tomatoes, and the banker bet him $100 and laid it down. The farmer looked at the banker for a minute, and then he pointed at the glass eye. "Tell me, how'd you pick the glass eye?" the banker wanted to know. "Well, you see," the farmer remarked, "I just went looking for the eye that had a little gleam of life and friendliness to us farmers in it, and I knew darn well it would be the glass one."
The people were hunting for some kind of an answer. The banker never gave it to us. The sheriff never told anybody the answer, so we asked a preacher, and still didn't learn much where to go or what to do.
All these things started stacking up in my head, till I felt like I was going out of my wits if I didn't find some way of saying what I was thinking. Well, long about that time, I commenced to singing. Well, I guess you could call it singing. When an uncle of mine taught me to play guitar, I got used to going out to the cow ranches in West Texas to play for the square dancers. Well, I'd make up new words to old tunes, and I'd sing them everywhere I'd go. In the city of Pampa, county of Gray, here's what all them people there say. Well, so long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is a-getting my home, and I gotta be drifting along. Well, so long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is a-getting my home, and I gotta be drifting along. feel like in them hills I still belong. Well, thank you very much, folks. We are the Corn Cob Quartet. And friends, well, this year is left you blue on fiddle. We got Terry Oaks on guitar. We got Spring Johnson on bass. We got me right over here on second guitar. Howdy y'all! We got Buster on banjo. Well, it's all be good. Hi, ladies. And we're going to sing that chorus for you one more time. And we sure like y'all to sing along. Because this is an awfully big barn, and there's just 3 little voices up here on stage. And we can sure use the help. All right, here we go.
Way down yonder on the Indian Nation, ride my pony on the reservation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Way down yonder on the Indian Nation, cowboy life is my occupation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born.
Where was that?
In the Oklahoma hills where I was born.
One more time.
In the Oklahoma hills where I was born.
There, smack dab in the middle of the Texas Dust Bowl. Well, I found plenty to write songs about. At first they were funny songs like Oklahoma Hills. Then with the oil boom over and the wheat blowed out, people stumbling about bothered by mortgages, debts, bills, sickness, worries of ever-blowing kind. Well, I got a little braver. And I started writing songs about what I thought was wrong and how to make them right. Songs that said what everyone in the country was thinking. Well, you told me what you knew. And I learned to tell you what I know. You patted your hands together and I danced. You held my head in your lap and I cried. Though these past few years I haven't cried much. Well, I suppose I cried down here in paper in words like these. Well, tears in ink. And they run at just about the same riptides. On the 14th day of April in 1935, there struck the worst of dust storms that ever filled the sky. You could see that dust storm coming. The clouds looked death-like black. And through our mighty nation, it left a terrible track. It fell across our city like a curtain of black rolled down. We thought it was our judgment. We thought it was our due. Our relatives were huddled into their small boomtown shacks, and the children, they were crying as it whistled through the cracks. The storm took place at sundown, and it lasted through the night. When we woke up next morning, we saw a terrible sight. We saw outside our windows where wheat fields once had grown was now a rippling ocean of dust the wind had blown. It covered up our fences, and it covered up our barns. It covered up our tractors in this wild and dusty storm. So we loaded up our jalopies, and we piled our families in. We rattled down the worst of dust storms that ever fill the sky. When the weather and finance folks both close in on you at the same time, there ain't nothing left to do but desert the farm. When all the folks got drove out of Oklahoma and Arkansas, down into the cow country, wheat fields, and oil towns of West Texas, well, I was in the runoff. Well, I married a girl, as most fellas did in those days. Well, she was the daughter of a family of farmers that had come down from around Hydro and Weatherford, Oklahoma. Well, we lived in the ricketiest of oil town shacks, just long enough to have no money, no clothes, no food, and 3 children. Well, I worked as a grocery clerk, shelf stocker, barn singer, banner painter, window and customer trimmer, and all-around cleanup man. But, well, I got what you call disgusted. I wandered the streets in a drift of dust and just wondered.
I ain't got no home, I'm just a rumbling
What am I going to do?
just a
Where am I going to go?
wandering worker. I go from town to town
Maybe the West Country needs me out there.
and took my home and drove.
Maybe it needs me to fill it up.
I ain't got no home.
And I need it to grow up in.
This world anymore. Marvin on the shades and noise we
It's been good to know
made
you.
across into the banker.
It's been good to know
Took
you.
down and
So
shine.
long it's been good to know you. I've got to be drifting along.
I ain't got no
I've got to be drifting along. Well, I call long tail freight with the California sign on the side of it. Well, you can see folks of all colors bouncing along in them boxcars. They stood up, they lied down, they piled in around each other. Well, I can smell the bitter, sour sweat soaking through my own khaki shirt and breeches. The work clothes, overalls, and dirty, saggy suits of the other folks. My mouth was full of a great kind of mineral dust. It's about an inch thick all over the floor.
We look like a gang of lost corpses headed back to the boneyard.
Hot in September heat.
Mean and mad.
Cussing and sweat, raving and preaching.
Well, our train was a highball and had the right way. Our car was a Rough Rider, a flat wheeler. The wheels were clipping it off at 60 miles an hour. This train don't carry no gamblers, this train. This train don't carry no gamblers, this train. This train don't carry no gamblers, liars, thieves, or big shot ramblers. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train don't carry no gamblers, this train. This train don't carry no gamblers, this train. This train don't carry no gamblers, liars, thieves, or big shot ramblers. This train is bound for glory, this train.
We would have to get the only damn flat wheeler on the train.
Yeah, well, beats walking. Buddy, if my guitar handle will stick up in your face.
Now, as long as you keep up the music, what kind of songs you sing anyway? Jukebox stuff?
No, I try to sing that drugstore lemonade music. I just open my mouth and nothing comes out.
Little too sissy, wisecracky, huh?
Well, hell yes, it takes more than a damn bunch of wisecrackers to win any kind of war. It takes work.
You You don't look like you ever broke your back doing no work, bud.
Man, you boys talking about the war.
I got Mr. I worked just as hard as you and the next guy, and I got the blisters to prove it.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to see a little spell of war here in a few minutes.
Yeah, it makes you think so.
They call me Cripple Whitey, the fight spotter. Spot a fist fight on the street 3 blocks before I come to it. Spot a gang fight hour before it breaks out. I tip off the boys. They know how to lay the bets.
You got a fight spotted now?
Well, I smell a big one. One hell of a big one. Gonna be some blood spilled. Be a few minutes here.
I don't pay no attention to that drunken rat. He's just full.
Hey, who you calling a drunken rat? Get up, I'll keep your lousy damn head and I'll clean to one of them ladies. This train don't carry no liars, this train. This train don't carry no liars, this train. This train don't carry no liars, she's sweet lime and a midnight flyer. This train don't carry no liars, this train.
Well, I stood there by the door, looking through the troubled, tangled, messed up folks hitting that long old lonesome goat. A crazy boxcar on a wild track, headed 60 miles an hour in a cloud of poison dust, due straight to the middle of nowhere.
Be a hell of a thing if a fellow was to get knocked out of this boxcar going this pace, wouldn't it? Roll a week.
Hey, look, train's slowing down to make a switch.
Well, I've been looking for you, Mr. Music Maker. I just think I'll boot you off of this train.
Well, he kicked me out the door, but I let running with my feet on the cinders and made a run for the door of the same boxcar again. Slow it down. That train jammed on its air brakes and jarred everyone in that boxcar off his feet. I was giving up all hopes of ever getting back on that train again. When I saw the iron ladder at the end of the car, well, I got to run and start on them cinders, swung onto the ladder, and went up and over the top.
This train don't carry no comment, this train. This train don't carry no comment, this train. This train don't carry no comment, no good dealers here they comment. This train don't carry no comment, this train.
Looking ahead, I can see the black smoke rolling out of the engine. It twisted and spun into all kinds of shapes. The wind whistled funeral songs for the railroad riders. Lightning struck and crackled. The flash stopped when clouds full of holes and rain began to hit down hard. I was whirling and floating. My brain felt like a pot of hot lead bubbling over the flame.
Don't carry no rustlers, this train.
Don't carry no rustlers.
Don't carry no rustlers, this train.
Don't carry no rustlers.
This train don't carry no
That's what's boxcar. I can hear the voice of the hobos. Who all them crazy men down there? How come them here? How the hell come me here?
Don't carry no smokers, this train.
Don't carry no smokers.
Don't carry no smokers, this
Don't
train.
carry no smokers.
This train don't
Well, strike, lightning, strike. Strike, lightning, strike. Be not care. Go over trouble. Twist and turn. The sky never straighten the world.
This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory. Don't carry nothing but the righteous and the holy. This train is bound for glory, this train.
Bound for glory. This train. Ha! Rain on, little rain, rain on! Blow on, little wind, you keep on blowing! Because that man is singing that this train is bound for glory. And I'm gonna hug her breast until I find out where she's bound.
This train is bound for glory. Don't carry nothing but the righteous and the holy. This train is bound for glory. This train.
By the next morning, I made my way over to the next car. It was an open-top car, and I joined the others there.
Well, I've been down this track so many times I'll tell the conductor how to go. We'll be headed down through the low country before very long.
I'm a Dust Bowl refugee. I'm a Dust Bowl refugee.
They run 100 miles below sea level, look up all the ones and see snow.
On the mountains.
Yep. When you come over the ridge into that snow coming up out all this heat, you'll freeze yourself.
Mighty fun thing.
Cross the mountains to the sea. some 1,000 families. It's a hard old dusty highway for a Dust Bowl refugee.
The land changed from a farming country into a web of Eden, crumbling the waste to stretch. Brownish hot rocks piled into canyons, red sands, yellow flats, and always to the distance, there stood up the high, flat-top cliffs, breaking again into the washing, windy face of the desert. Heart, it's always been that way. Here today and on our way. Across the mountains, through the desert, just a Dust Bowl refugee.
Yes, we ramble and we roam, and the highway, that's our home. And I wonder, will I always be a Dust Bowl refugee?
It's cold out here when the sun goes down. Hey, what are you gonna do? Come on over here. We huddle up and come up, put our hands in each other's pockets. The heat will keep us from freezing.
When night turned to dark, and we got closer together to keep warm, the low pounding of the wheels beneath us, the swaying and quivering of the train, got so tiresome that we drifted off to sleep and covered the miles that would put us across that California line. Like a whirlwind on the desert, that's the Dust Bowl refugee. Well, thousands of folks back east, they say, are leaving home most every day. And they're hitting that hot old dusty trail to the California line.
Cross the desert, through the sands they roll.
Ain't getting out of that old Dust Bowl.
They think they're going to a sugar bowl. Here's what they find.
Police at the border eventually say,
Your number 14,000 for today. If you ain't got the no-way beat, boys, you ain't got the no-way beat. Well, you better go back to beautiful Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, Kansas, Tennessee. California is a garden of Eden. It's a paradise to live in or see. But believe it or not, you won't find it so hard if you ain't got the no-way beat.
well, if you want to buy a home or farm,
Let Jeff do nobody no harm.
Take your vacation life from Athens or the sea.
But don't swap your old cow for a car.
You better stay right where you are.
Well, you better take this little tip from me, 'cause I look through lawyers every day. The headlines on the papers always say, if you ain't got the no-way beat, boy, if you ain't got the no-way beat, well, you better go back to beautiful Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia,
and you won't find it so hard.
If you ain't got the do-re-mi.
Well, word had scattered out that 2,500 workers was needed to build the Kenneth Dam. And already 8,000 work hands had showed up to do the job. Reading was like a wild ant den. Now, a mile to the north, in a bend of the railroad track, had sprung up another camp, a thriving nest of 2,000 people that was called by the name of the Jungle. Yeah, that summer of 1938, I learned a few little things about the folks at Reading. But a whole lot more, some way down there by that big jungle where people lived as close to nature, but as far from everything natural as human beings can. Well, I landed in Reading early one morning on a long freight full of wore-out people, and I fell off that freight with my guitar over my shoulder. I walked around and heard all sorts of playing and singing coming from the wide open doors of the saloons along the street. Well, I stopped in at every one of them and tried to draw a hand. I'd throw my hat down on the floor and sing the longest, oldest, slowest, saddest, most pitiful songs and ballads that I knew. I made a little change, and I walked around with a jingling loose in my pockets, crossed the street, through a vacant lot, down a cinder dump, and onto some railroad tracks. And I followed those tracks till I found a grassy trail that led on down to the jungle camp. It was bigger than the town itself. It was pretty sunny in some places, but other patches pretty shaky. But folks had taken old car fenders, pulled them up from the dumps, wired them in amongst the limbs of the trees, and that would be a roof for some of them. Other people taken old wagon sheets and stretched the canvas over branches cut so that the forks braced each other. That would be a house. Every few feet down the jungle hill, you come across another shack made out of, well, every old thing. Bumpy corrugated iron, cement sacks, orange and apple crates pulled apart and nailed back together again. An old dress, a shirt, a pair of overalls tacked up to cover half a side of wall. Well, the sun got lower and things got stiller. You could move from one bunch of people to the next and talk about the weather. Oh, of course, the weather is not such an ace-high subject because, well, around Reading for 9 months hard running, weather don't change. Oh, it's hot. And dry.
Uh-huh.
Hot and dry.
Uh-huh.
And tomorrow, it's still going to be hot and dry.
Uh-huh.
Well, you can hear bunches of people talking amongst themselves, saying to each other,
Hot, ain't it?
Yeah, dry too.
uh-huh. I thought maybe they could use a change of subject. So I asked someone, hey, excuse me, when's work on the dam getting started?
Girl, it was supposed to get going last month.
Last month, hell, we've been camped up and down here slough for 3 months, hearing it get started any day now.
Telegram ain't come from Washington.
I think they're studying some Kodak pictures of the damn site. It's been put off and put off.
See, work had been set up and postponed on the dam about 4 times. The would-be workers worked harder trying to keep from starving in the jungle than they would have building 2 dams. You might say they was hungry by a damn sight. So who are all these folks anyway?
Well, most of them are just louses. Pimps, gamblers, whores, and fakes of all kinds. Ow! Well, there ain't so many of them kind. You talk to 20 men, you find 19 of them just as willing to work as the next fellow. And just as good a hand, too.
Yeah.
Been all over everywhere trying to get some kind of regular job.
Well, good luck to you. Well, I run across a few young people, mostly kids with their families, who plucked on a banjo or guitar or some song. Well, 2 of these drew quite a crowd every night, right about sundown. Now, it usually took place just about the same way.
Go in the house, get your music box, sit there by the baby.
There's a spot under a tree in their yard where the shade got nice and cool. Well, Dad parked himself up against an old car cushion. She tuned a string or two and corded it up a little bit. People came from all over and gathered. Well, the visitors stood still as daylight while the girls sang.
Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long.
I crossed the river to lay me down to sleep. I crossed the river to lay me down to sleep. I crossed the river to lay me down to sleep. When I woke up, there were shackles on my feet.
Well, I heard those two singing from a long ways off where I was leaning up against an old watering trough. Well, I heard their words just clear as day, floating amongst the trees and over the low places. I set my guitar down on a patch of dry grass, stretched myself out. When I lay there and listened to them sing for a long time.
I asked the judge, what's gonna be my crime? I asked the judge, what's gonna be my crime? I asked the judge, what's gonna be my fine? He said, poor folk, it's your hard luck, not mine.
I still don't know why I didn't tell them right off I had my guitar with me. Nah, I just reared back and soaked in every word they're singing. Well, it was so clear, honest sounding. No Hollywood put on, no fake wiggling. Instead of getting you all riled up mentally, morally, and sexually, no, it done something better. Something that's harder to do, something that you need 10 times more. It cleared your head up. That's what it done. It caused you to fall back, let your draggy bones rest, and your muscles go all loose and limber like cats. These two make 2,000 working people feel like I felt, and rest like I rested.
I've blown down this old dusty road. I've blown down this old dusty road. I've blown down this old dusty road, Lord, Lord, and I hate God be treated this way.
I'm going where them dust storms never blow. I'm going where them dust storms never blow. I'm going where them dust storms never blow. Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way.
Well, I walked over to him.
Well, that's awfully good singing. And I like the way you play that guitar with your fingers. It sounds soft, but you can hear it a long ways off. All them 3 hills just ringing out with the sound of that guitar. And all these folks listening to you sing.
I saw them listening.
Well, I play with a flat pick myself. Well, I gotta be loud because I play in saloons and, well, I just make it my business to make more noise than they make.
I don't like old saloons.
I'm against bars myself.
Yeah, right square up against them.
Well, I'm going where the water tastes like
I'll try
wine.
this on. Going where the
said, boy, howdy, old guitar. Been a lot of places, seen a lot of faces. But don't you go acting all wild and reckless, because this little girl and her mama don't like saloons. And I started picking out a tune, sort of note for note, let their guitars play the second parts of the bass chords. They smiled at me when I did this because guitar being played this way is what's called the real article. And millions of little kids are raised on this kind of music. Well, that little group and I sang and played together until the crowd got bigger. It got dark up under them trees where the moon couldn't hit us.
Takes a $10 shoe to fit my feet.
Takes a $10 shoe to fit my feet. Takes a $10 shoe to fit my feet. Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way.
These $2 shoes hurt my feet.
These $2 shoes hurt my feet.
Hurt my feet.
These $2 shoes hurt my feet. Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way.
When it got darker, and the men in the saloons in town had lost their last few remaining pennies playing framed up poker, well, they drifted out to sleep the night in the jungle came. Well, a bunch, about 25 or 30 of them, came running up over the edge of the hill from town, just yelling and cussing, kicking tin pots and coffee pots 30 feet, well, hollering like panthers. When that whole mess of them came down the trail where we was singing, well, that's when the whole drunk bunch of them just stopped, stood there, kneeling and listening in the darkness, shushing each other to keep quiet, and sat down on the ground to listen. It got so still, the air almost crackled.
I'm looking for a job with honest pay. I'm looking for a job with honest pay. I'm looking for a job with honest pay, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way.
My children need 3 square meals a day. Oh, my children need 3 square meals a day. Oh, my children need 3 square meals a day.
Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way.
I'm going down this long, dusty road.
I'm going down this long, dusty road. I'm going down this long, dusty road. Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. And I ain't gonna be treated this way. And I ain't gonna be treated this way.
Well, long about 1931, my field burned up in the boiling sun. Long about 1932, well, the dust did fly and the dust did flew. End of my line, end of my line. I reckon I come to the end of my line, end of my line, end of my line. I reckon I come to the end of my line. Well, long about 1933, well, living in the dust was killing me. And long about 1934, well, the neighbor dust did blew some more. End of my line, the end of my line. I reckon I come to the end of my line, end of my line, the end of my line. I reckon I come to the
end of my line, end of my line. Well, I reckon I come to the end of my line.
Long about 1939, we're gonna fill our tails for that Oregon line. We'll get a hold of a piece of land.
15 miles from the Guthrie Dam, end of my line, end of my line. That's gonna be the end of
Ryan, you listen up, old man.
I'm listening.
Now the world holds 7 wonders, as travelers always tell. Some gardens and some towers, I guess you know them well. But now the greatest wonder is in Uncle Sam's fair land. On the King Columbia River, it's a big grand coulee neck.
She heads up to the Canadian Rockies, where rippling waters glide, come rolling down the canyon to meet that salty tide. From the Pacific Ocean, where sunsets in the west, in the big red coulee country, in the land down of the west. In the sweet crystal waters, how wild and windward spray, they compounding waters and meadow watery grave. But she told their boats to squares and gave them dreams to dream of the day that Coulee Dam would cross that wild and wasted stream.
Uncle Sam took up the challenge in the year of 33. For the farmers and the factories and all of you and me. He said, roll along Columbia, you could ramble to the sea. But river, while you're rambling, you can do some work for me. Now from Washington and Oregon, you can hear that factory hum, making chrome and making manganese and light aluminum. That's the rise of all the greatest thing yet built by human hands. On the Howland King Columbia is a big grand coulee dam.
Well, I'll tell you what. You learn more about people hearing the songs they sing than you would from any words you hear them speak in their native tongues. Unless we do hear the work songs, the war songs, the love songs, the dance songs of all the people everywhere, we are most apt to lose the peace and this world along with it.
Well, you've seen about 1 million people like us already. But maybe you've seen us down the crowded side of your big city. The backside is jammed and packed. The hard section is right. And maybe you've wondered where so many of us come from. How we eat, stay alive, what good we do. What makes us live like this?
Out of your dust bowl and westward we roll through your
something hit us. We lost all that.
I've worked in your orchards of peaches and prunes. I've slept on the ground in the light of your moon. On the edge of your city, you'll see us, and then we come with the dust, and we're gone with the wind.
We've been pushed out onto the high, lonesome highway, and have gone down it too, from coast to coast, from Canada to Mexico, just looking for that home again. Now we're looking for a while in your town. Ain't much difference between you and us.
California, Arizona, I made all your crops. Then it's north up to Oregon to gather your hops. Dig these from your ground, cut the grapes from your vine, to set on your table that night, sparkling wine.
And maybe later on the ragged edge of your city, you've seen us after we've hit the road. The people you call strangers.
The people that follow the sun and the seasons to your country.
Follow the buds and the early leaves and come when the fruit and crops are ready to gather. And then leave when the work is done.
We're migrants now. We don't just sat along in the sun, we go by the sun, and it lights up the country that we know is ours.
Green pastures of plenty from dry desert ground, from the grand coulee dam where the water runs down. Every state in this union us migrants have been,
so afraid you kill our children. We dug us a cave that was 7 foot deep, carried our young ones and a pregnant woman down inside the cave to sleep. That very night you soldiers waited until us miners were asleep. You snuck around our little tent town, and you soaked our tents with your kerosene. You struck a match, and in the blaze that started, you pulled the trigger of your Gatling guns. I made a run for the children, but the firewall stopped me. 13 children died from your guns. I never will forget the look on the faces of the men and women that awful day when we stood around to preach their funerals and laid the corpses of the dead away. We told the Colorado governor to phone the president, tell him to call off his National Guard, but the National Guard belonged to the governor, so he didn't try so very hard. Our women from Trinidad, they hauled some potatoes up to Walsenburg in a little cart. They sold their potatoes and they brought some guns back, and they put a gun in every hand. The state soldiers jumped us in the wire fence corners. They did not know we had these guns, and the redneck miners mowed down them troopers. You should have seen them poor boys run. We took some cement and we walled that cave up where you killed them 13 children inside. I said, God bless the Mine Workers Union. Then I hung my head and cried.
lived under every important railroad bridge in the state of California. Well, see, I'd wander from town to town, my guitar slung over my shoulder. Well, I sang in the Boweries of 42 states. Like I wore that old 66 out all by myself. See, I sang on the gravel bars on the East Coast, down in New Orleans and Jackson Square watching the cops chase the Bay Rum drinkers. Well, I curved around the Gulf of Mexico and sang with the Tars and Salts in Port Arthur, the Oilers and the Greasers in Texas City, and the marijuana smokers down in the Flop Town in Houston. Well, I trailed the fairs and the rodeos all over Northern California, Grass Valley, Nevada City. Well, the peaches and the apricots around Marysville, and the wine and sand grape hills of Auburn, drinking the good homemade vino from the jugs of the friendly grape farm. And everywhere I went, I threw down my hat and tried to sing for my tips. Well, when you bum around for a year or two, you see all the folks that are down and out, well, you wish that some way or another they could get back to their old stomping grounds, pitch in, help build their part of the country back up to where it should be. But you know that can't happen until some things have changed. Well, the coast wind blew me up out of San Francisco, over the hump to Los Angeles, and all the way out to New York. Month of November, down along the Bowery, Skid Row. Well, the skiddiest of all skid rows. Yeah, well, on a wet and windy night, and the wind split in charge like a herd of wild horses through the canyons of the night. Well, I come across a guitar playing partner standing on a bad corner. His name was Cisco Houston, but he called himself the Cisco Kid.
Standing down in New York town one day. Standing down in New York town one day. Standing down in New York town one day. Singing, hey, hey, hey,
Well, he banged on the guitar pretty good. And just like me, find him out there on that corner. Come heat or cold, or rain or shine, playing on that old guitar, singing, hey, 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 hey.
Well, hey there, big fella.
How you doing there, little fella?
Just fine.
This side? Are you really old enough to grow a mustache?
Yes, I am.
All right, then.
Look at them. They all have fat pockets of money and stuff. Just keep looking. Nothing happening over here. There you go. There you go. Yeah, you're bringing them in. You're bringing them in.
Singing, hey, 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 hey.
Come on back. I like you.
Well, that was a change.
I know, right?
Holding my last gold dollar in my hand. Holding my last gold dollar in my hand. Holding my last gold dollar in my hand. Singing, hey, 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 hey. Wait a minute. Singing, hey, 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 hey. We're just playing. It's a nice hat. Singing, hey, 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 hey. Well, what me and Cisco do is we just kind of head down the skid, sticking our head in all the bars and taverns, always on the lookout for a gang of live ones.
Yeah, this is where the working folk come to squeeze a little fun and rest out of buckle up into the screw. Well, these 3-4 blocks of block houses and buildings good for about 30 to 40 cents a night.
If things go just right.
We try to hit 3 or 4 bars every night.
Hey, you want to drop in here?
Well, it'll be a cinch to drop in, but will we make any money?
Let him stop us before it. And me and Cisco, somewhere amongst all these scooters, we try and sing for our chips.
It's hard and it's fun. Ain't it hard? Hey, I'm talking to you.
Yes, ma'am.
To love somebody who you never did love you. Why you bend your knees? It's hard and it's hard. Ain't it hard? To love somebody who never could be true.
ask the regular musicians if they would like to rest for a bit.
Hey, would y'all like to rest for a bit?
Oh, you called me.
Yeah, I guess we'll take a
All
rest.
right, we'll be able to play something. Get out there.
Oh, well, you good luck to you.
Okay.
Good luck.
You mind if I sit in, see what you got?
I would love it if you would sit in.
Keep up there, too.
Yeah, try to see if you can keep up with us. Right, that's the problem. Well, let me and Cisco take our little place in front of that platform, and we would sing our songs.
Sing it.
But not, hey, hey, hey.
Okay.
All right,
I sing you a song of the place that I stay. Once on this highway I used to be gay, carefree and rambling in days of yore. Life don't feel at home on this highway no more. Ladies and gentlemen, the flock of deer are wild, see the men are so thick. You can't go to sleep, no, you can't sleep all week. They mumble and they grumble, they snarl and they snore. I don't feel at home on this valley no more. Hey, Woody. The beds are so short that you're beating the wall. The bed looks so big that they swallow you whole. The lights are so dim that they cover the floor. I don't feel at home on this valley no more. I've seen an apartment on Fifth Avenue, a penthouse in garden with skyscraper view, carpet so soft with a hardwood floor. I don't feel at home on this valley no more. I like my good whiskey, I like my good wine, and good book and women to have a good time. Cocktail parties, big built-in bars. I don't feel at home on this valley no more. The girls on the Bowery, they have all they wear. They're dancing for nickels and the old dead day. Well, I like the pretty girls, like I told you before. So I don't feel at home on this Bowery no more. I got disgusted and I wrote this song. I may be right and have to be wrong, but since I've seen the difference between rich and poor, I don't feel at home on this Bowery no more. I sing you a song of the place that I stay. Once on this Bowery I used to be gay, carefree and rambling in days of yore. I don't feel at home on this valley no more. I don't feel at home on this valley no more.
well, New York is the one and only New York. And I would be a dumb bell if I was to cuss it and call it a big, cold, dirty, crowded, nervous, greedy, hurried, lonesome rat trap.
Hey,
So instead, I will simply say that New York is the greatest city in the world.
Yes.
If only it was a little different. New York, as a whole, is okay.
Let that one slide.
Well, I struck out for old New York. I thought I'd find me a job of work. One leg up and the other leg down, and I come in through a hole in the ground. Holland Tunnel. 3 Mile Tube. Skip through the Hudson River do. Well, I blowed into New York town, and I looked up and I looked down. Everyone I see was running around. They was all running down in this hole. ground. So I followed them. See where they was a-going.
Where was they going?
Well, the newsboy said that they was trying to smoke a rat out of a hole. I said, boy, there's a rat down that hole. We ought to leave him right where he is. Climbed down 38 flights of stairs, and boy, howdy, I declare. Rode old elevator 22 and spent my lone last nickel too. A mean-looking little feller in a cage took it. Well, he sent me through a chute-to-chute, 3 clothes ringers, so many people down there I couldn't even fall down. Well, I changed stations twice, and both times I came out with a different pair of shoes on. You know, I feel like they could get more people on these here subway trains if they just laid us down flat. Well, that way, when you get to your station, they can just shoot you on home like a torpedo. Well, I struck out in old New York. I never did find me a job of work. One leg up and the other leg down, and I come in through a hole in the ground. Holland's Own. 3-mile carbon monoxide filled tube. 1 deep breath, and you're exhausted. Well, they made me pay to go through the damn thing. And then I wound up in New Jersey. But I got another song about that. Skipping through the Hudson River, doo. Yep, that boo, that boo. Well, what do y'all want to hear?
Hi, handsome. What else you got?
Well, I will sing any song that was written by the people that tells a little part of our big history.
The people. You don't write them yourself?
Doesn't matter who writes them as long as they get wrote.
Everybody writes music. Some people just put it to work.
My name is Tom Cranker, and I'm a jolly banker. I'm a jolly banker, am I? Well, I safeguard the farmers and widows and orphans. I'm a jolly banker, am I? If you tell me you need it, I'll let you have credit. I'm a jolly banker, am I? Just bring me back 2 for each one that I lend
That's
you.
fair.
I'm a jolly banker, am I? If you're in foreclosure and your house is turned over, well, I'm a jolly banker, am I? Well, I'll be there to help you, I'll rob you, I'll scalp you, smiling. I'm a jolly banker, am I? Well, I safeguard the farmers and widows and orphans.
Sure.
I'm a jolly banker, am I.
I think folk songs are on their way out.
As long as we got wrecks, disasters, floods, trade union trouble, high prices and low pay, and politicians.
Oh, yeah.
Well, folk songs is on their way in.
All right, news guys, back to work.
Heck, Cisco, you can sing all day and all that 60 days and 60 nights and still not have enough wind to be no politician.
So what are your politics, Mr. Folk Singer?
Well, I ain't a communist necessarily, but I have been in the red all my life.
Was a big high wall there, it tried to stop me. A sign was painted, said private property. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me.
So your song's a commie song.
Well, any song that fights for the rights of the working people is a commie song to the rich folks. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Well, I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Till the day I
There once was a union maid who never was afraid of the booms and the gates and the company things and the deputy sheriffs who made the race was she went to the union hall. When a meeting it was called, and when them company boys came round, she always stood her ground. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. This union maid was wise to the tricks of company spies. She couldn't be fooled by company stools. She always organized the guys. She always picked her way. When she struck for higher pay, she'd show her card to the National Guard, and this is what she'd say. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union.
I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. You girls who want me free, just take a little tip from me. Get you a man who's a union fan and join the ladies auxiliary.
Very like a card, and you got a union card. I'm a union man who's a happy life, and he's got a union wife.
Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die.
You see, what I've always tried to do is write songs and let the working people know that they are fighting history. So write a book. Well, I have. But I would much rather hear a room full of my friends and neighbors sing real loud one of my songs. A room full, a room full. A big room full. You ready? I said, are you ready? Yeah. All right then. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. I'm sticking to the union till the day I
See, I can't invent the news, but I do my job, which is to fix the day's news up so that you can sing it. On Halloween in 1941, a German U-boat sank our destroyer Reuben James while it was escorting a convoy.
And this was a month before Pearl Harbor.
Well, it was the first American warship that we lost.
You know, I can make it a lot plainer for you to remember if I can make it easy for you to sing. Have you heard of a ship called the Good Reuben James? Manned by hard-working men
if you think you've got something new to say, if a cyclone comes, or a flood breaks half the country, or a big ship goes down, or the working people go out to win a war, you'll come up with a whole trainload of things to sit down and make up songs about, and you'll sing these songs everywhere you travel and everywhere you live.
You'll hear the people sing these words all over the country.
Well, these are the only kind of songs that my head,
Or my memory.
or my guitar has got any room for.
New York Town. Well, I made some albums of records for Moe's Ash. Even had time to be in 3 invasions of the Merchant Marines. To get torpedoed twice. To walk all over the British Isles and to see 46 of our 48 states. Get a divorce from one woman and then turn right around and marry myself off to another one. A dancer and a teacher. Her name was Marjorie and our daughter was Kathy Ann. I called her Stacky Bones. She'd sing and laugh and dance to all them records Ash made and say, "How did they get inside the music box, Daddy?" Well, my wife says the main reason why she likes me is because I'm crazy as a turkey gobbler. Well, the ballad singer's a mystery to everybody, except maybe his own self. He sings around at strikes, on picket lines and workers' beats, picnics, rallies, and big banquets. The very next time you see him, he's out walking along with his old pen and pencil and his sweaty nickel tablet again.
Well, I am walking down these tracks. I got tears in my eyes. I'm trying to read a letter from my home.
Where am I going to go?
What heart of the people is he found? What passport? What ticket? What philosophy? What religious faith has he found that takes him out on the roads and trails?
And if this train runs me right, well, I'll be home Saturday night.
Maybe the West Country needs me out there.
'Cause I'm 900 miles from my home.
Fresno rail yards, 4 in the morning. When I ran out the rail yards, I could barely see it. It was so dark. The cars were all blended into the night. But all at once, at about a foot in front of my face, I saw a blur and a light and a blur and a light. So I knew here was one going by. I watched the light come along between the cars until finally I spotted an open top car, which was easier to see. So I grabbed hold of that ladder and I swung on over to a heavy loaded cast iron machine gun. I sat down in that car and I rested.
Train pulls along slow for a little while, but pretty soon the old string gets the kinks stripped out of her. Starts whistling through a lot of little towns. Fog turns to a drizzle. The drizzle to a slow rain.
The lonesome whip of the wind sounds even more lonesome when the big engine joins in on whistling. The wheels hum a song and the weather gets cold.
I get a little warmer by remembering people I know, their faces, how they looked and all that they had meant to me. I am riding on this train. There are tears in my eyes. I'm trying to read a letter from my home. And if this train runs me right, I'll be home Saturday night. I'm 900 miles from my home. And I hate to hear that lonesome whistle blow. That long lonesome train whistling down.
This train I ride on, it's 100 coaches long. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. And that lonesome whistle call is the mournfulest of all. I'm 900 miles from my home. can't always tell or make plain the big terrible spirit you've learned to live in. But you're always paid back by more than you put in. Your lonesomeness is paid back by an equal amount of the warmest welcome. Your days and your nights and all kinds of weathers are paid back by a look that you see in the people's eyes and on their faces. This is a folk singer's pay, his learning, his whole wealth, his whole knowledge. This and the millions of words you dig out of your deeper selves and swap to him for his gifts. Fresno, California, January 28th, Associated Press. Chartered immigration service plane crashed and burned in West Fresno County this morning, killing 28 Mexican deportees, a crew, and an immigration guard. The Mexicans were being flown to the deportation center in El Centro to return to their country. The plane, southbound from Oakland Airport, appeared to explode before it plummeted to the ground. The crew was identified as Frank Atkinson, Newport 33, the pilot, his wife, Mrs. Bobby Atkinson, 28, stewardess, Mary Ewing of Balboa, 33, co-pilot, and Frankie Chafin of Rochester, New York. The group also included 28 Mexican nationals who had entered the United States illegally.
You're flying them back to the Mexican
I see a better world a-comin'. Yes, I know, and I know. I see a better world a-comin'. Yes, I know. Out of your storms and winds and rains, out of sorrow, out of pain, I see a better world a-comin'. That I know. I say there's a better world a-comin'. Don't you see? There's a
too fat, or too thin, or too this, or too that. Songs that run you down, or postponing you on account of your bad luck, or your hard traveling.
Well, I'm out to fight those kind of songs with my very last breath and my very last drop of blood.
Well, see, I'm out to sing songs that will prove to you that this is your world. That if it's hit you pretty hard, knocked you for a dozen loops, no matter how hard it's run you down or rolled you over, see, no matter what color or size you are, how you're built, I'm out to sing songs that will make you take pride in yourself and in your work.
And the songs I sing are, for the most part, written by people just about like you.
There'll be no Santa to give up Croker and me.
And no trap you can set can bait me into a long, heavy death talk.
I'll do every job I can to stay alive and argue fun. Alive and kicking.
Yeah.
Alive and flirking the dog.
Oh my.
I'll nosy and smooch around like a chief detective. And listen to you talk and watch you work.
And I'll use my words not to rip you down, but to squeeze you up against the wall in ways that'll put new life into your old pots and old pans.
And new grease, honey, in your washy old dishwasher.
And I'll be a man as best and worst and quick as I can. Man, as hot as I can. Oh, look out. And one day, you might even call me your word singer.
At age 40, Woody was diagnosed with Huntington's disease.
Old sinking feeling just hit me again.
Does your spell hung on bad? Hung on real bad?
Face seems to twist out of shape.
Arms dangle all around.
Maybe Jesus can think up a cure of some kind.
Well, this is my letter. My letter that I write all night and 10 nights. And there's no stopping me once I commence on such a letter as this. It's a story that is not complete, nor can it be. But it's a story enough, though, to give you a little taste, a sample feeling of the roads from down which we come. Let me be known as just the man that told you something you already knew.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. In the shadow